Amazon is charging sellers to sell on the platform, and then they're charging you extra to buy on the platform. And
Hello, this is Fernando Barella, and I'm going to be flying my little drone, so it might take a little bit to set it up real quick, but
even YouTube, even though they're not directly charging you, will still absolutely find ways to maximize their earnings from you once they know that you're in. Once Facebook had got everyone to sign up for the first time,
this little guy,
open haven where you
I got another DJI one. It's except I crashed.
Could just leave.
I crashed it.
Social suicide. So Facebook could crank that money-making
lever
as much as they wanted to. They could fill it with ads. They could charge companies as much as they wanted to target those ads at you. They can curate your feed, taking the people you follow, not as commands of what you want to see, but just suggestions. Suggestions that are quite quickly discarded as soon as Facebook realizes what they can show you to make more money out of you. Now, where this all gets really deceptive is the dark patterns. Basically tricks that companies employ to make you do things that you didn't mean to do.
See this guy, I crashed him. Crashed him big time. So, but this is awesome. This is an awesome drone.
Last year,
I gotta
I
just
signed
take
up to
it,
using an
fix
app
it.
called Piccolo. It's just a social or drinking game where it serves you prompts on your phone, and then you get those people to do those things. Like, hey Brian, from now on you have to do the worm every single time you say something. Sorry, Brian.
So
the game's got a 3-day free trial. Oh, great!
We gotta send that tomorrow.
It's £4.49 per week.
So let's get to this guy.
£4.49 per week for a game that's very clearly been designed to be played once a month at most. And I would have happily bought it for £4.49 or even £10 if that's what they charged it as a one-off fee. You know, how it used to be before the subscription thing took over. But anyway, I went for the free trial. I played the game with my friends. We were drinking, so I didn't specifically remember to cancel it when I woke up the next day.
I use Febreze fabric refresher every day to make my home smell amazing. On my bed, my couch, my jacket or jeans, in between washes, even shoes. Febreze doesn't cover up odors with scent, but fights them and freshens. Over 1,000 uses.
Let me get
fabric
the
refresher.
battery.
And it took half a year. When my accountant asked, what is this £4.49 every week going to Apple? When he mentioned it, I realized I had seen it a couple of times coming up on my accounts, but because it was just a payment to Apple, I assumed, oh, it must be iCloud or something. Negligent on my end? Yes, absolutely, but I'm human. I forgot once, and my penalty for that, for playing one phone game for 2 hours one night, about £110. There are plenty of subscription services I have that I think are fair, but this is a very clear example of one that is predatory. One whose entire business model clearly revolves around charging an unfair price and hoping that people will forget. Another dark pattern that I see so much of nowadays is the manipulation of the default option. Like, I shop a lot on Amazon, right? And the reason for that is that even though I know they're often no longer the cheapest, is that they're basically the only company whose delivery infrastructure I can mostly rely on. The only company for who, when they say next day, it really does mean that it will come next day. This is the key problem that Amazon first solved for its users. It's what got us all so invested in the platform, and what got me and millions of others to start paying monthly subscriptions to Prime. But now Amazon, as well as oftentimes introducing a minimum order quantity to get that free delivery, also often pre-selects the slower delivery option with, and I've looked into this, no way to stop it doing that. So let me just get this straight. You're charging me a monthly subscription for unlimited next day delivery, but then assuming that unless I specify otherwise, I'd rather get the slower delivery that I didn't have to pay for. And this is absolutely an example of a dark pattern, because we've had at least 3 or 4 occasions where we're about to film a video, and then we realize some of the stuff that we ordered for that video hasn't actually arrived. We go back and we realize it's because when checking out in a hurry, we didn't realize that Amazon didn't select the fastest option, but was advertised to us as the delivery window on the product page. Honestly, at this point, there is an intricate web of dark patterns these companies are using, and you'll absolutely have experienced some of them. Like deliberately confusing website design, intended to fool or confuse the customer into not cancelling their subscription. For example, it's quite common to have multiple pages you have to go through to cancel, but then what some companies have started doing is flipping the continue and the back buttons between each page. So as you're trying to mash your mouse as quickly as possible to unsubscribe, you're actually being taken around and around the company's pages in a loop so that you end up reading their entire spiel, aggressively offering you discounts, and only offering those discounts right before you decide you want to cancel, which always makes you realize how much you were overpaying in the first place. Encouraging you to pause your subscription so that it automatically resumes after a set period of time, as opposed to you being a functioning adult who can just cancel and then rejoin later if you decide you want to, and trying every single thing they can to guilt you with the fear of missing out, with things like continuing your deactivation only if you are a boring person who never likes to have fun again. There was a big study by Email Tool Tester who found that the average consumer encounters over 6 dark patterns when trying to cancel any subscription service nowadays. I mean, imagine talking to a person and they try to mislead you 6 times in the span of a few minutes. That's so bad that it's hard to wrap your head around. I actually experienced one of the worst examples of this just last week when I found myself with a little bit of spare time and I thought, I'd love to get just 1 month's worth of PlayStation Online play. That should be simple, right? So I opened up the purchase page for online and no, I don't want premium. No, I don't want extra. I just want to play online. But wait, there's no option to just buy 1 month. There used to be. Does it just assume now that when I subscribe, I want to stay subscribed forever? But okay, fine. So I'll just buy the essential package and then I'll cancel straight away so that I don't get charged in any subsequent months. So I do that. But then, where's the cancel button? You'd think you'd be able to go to the same place you bought it from to cancel, but no. The only thing you can do on that page is to upgrade. The cancel is actually hidden in your console settings. But where in the settings? I spent so long looking, I gave up, and I actually had to Google to find that you have to go into users and accounts, then you go into accounts, then payment and subscriptions, then click PlayStation Plus. Okay, so then surely you just click cancel and you're good, right? Oh no, because then it asks you if you'd rather change your plan after I've specifically chosen to click the cancel button instead of the change button. Okay, so click cancel. Are you sure you're about to lose these benefits and more? Then when you confirm, get another window asking you for your reasons before it will actually let you cut. But it's not even just about what any one company does in isolation. It's just the fact that every big tech company is doing a subscription is in itself part of the problem. Because in most cases, the more subscription services there are, the worse each one gets. And the more that you end up having to pay just to be able to still do the things you want to do. See, you have a limited amount of time, right? Let's say you have enough spare time to watch 2 movies a week. In an era where subscribing to Netflix at its original £5.99 price lets you watch all the big blockbuster movies people were talking about, that's a cracking deal. You're basically paying 75p per movie. But then Disney Plus comes along and takes Disney-owned shows onto their own platform. Apple TV Plus comes along, Amazon Prime Video, Paramount Plus, Peacock, and every single one takes the rights for 1 or 2 of the big exclusive must-watch shows, and before you know it, you're paying like 6 different subscription services. Combine that with the tiering, which means that if you want the perks and the ad-free experience that you initially signed up for, along with that high quality, you'll be paying mostly between £10 and £20 per month to each one. Remember, your time hasn't increased. The amount of content you consume hasn't changed. You're just paying movie rent to more different companies and using each service much less, amounting to £11 per movie you watch now, which is about what you would have paid for a DVD in the first place. It feels like we've looped all the way around and now we're back in the same place we were, except now you don't own anything. And services like Netflix are constantly culling their libraries just to keep them existing. I was counting up the number of my own paid subscriptions I had a few days ago while planning out this video, and it's only when I totted it all up that I realized just how ridiculous it's become. Like, just for work, I subscribe to Epidemic Sound, Slack, Trello, the entire Adobe Creative Suite, Frame.io, Surfshark, Twitter Blue, Google Drive, Uber One, a whole load of different plugins. And then personally, Netflix, Spotify, Vodafone, Tidal, Apple TV Plus, Apple iCloud, Amazon Prime, YouTube Premium, Deliveroo Plus, PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live, Nintendo Switch Online. Oh my god. So the total I spend on subscriptions in a month 1,212 per month. Oh my god.
I think my battery died.
Why do people
We'll
use Kai
find
to
out
compare
later.
hundreds of travel sites at once? I like to do things myself.
Battery died.
I mean, what kind of connection would I have with the salmon
Battery
if
dead.
I bought it at the supermarket?
Kayak. Search one and done.
Now, the truth is, subscriptions and the dark patterns that often come with them, they're not going
So
anywhere.
we still
It's
got-
not surprising
still
that
got
every
around.
single company wants them. They give predictable, regular
Actually, this guy's
revenue,
not-
which is
this guy's
basically the
really
holy
good.
grail for
This little
businesses. I mean, it's a lot
I'm
more
starting to get
encouraging
used
to
to it.
say to investors, we have 1,000 users and you can
Eventually, I'll get
expect
used to it.
950 of them to pay again next month, than to say 1,000 people bought our product, we'll try and get more next time. It's way easier to get people in with a cheap subscription and then upsell them later on with add-ons and more expensive tiers, as opposed to having to go all in with the big upfront hard sell on a big purchase. And also, subscriptions create lock-in. So the people who are subscribed, they're not just paying you for the subscription, but they're also likely to keep paying you more while trying to make the most out of that subscription. And then finally, lots and lots of money. I mean, here's what a company's revenue